couple of us have to leave at 6:30, so we'll proceed with the order of the day. Let's see, we have nobody who's here to comment, so we'll skip that. The moment you've all been waiting for, my report, if you'd be pleased to know that I have nothing to report. We feel bad about that, but it's been running so smoothly. It's just taking care of itself. Okay. Oh, we're gonna do our, sorry, I missed the meeting. Sorry. Last.
Getting excited.
Yeah, getting excited. Yes, it is. We have two sections of minutes. One is the ad hoc meeting we had last 13th of June. That was for the book review thing went to the state. So had a chance to look at those. I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion approved. Second.
Second. Any further discussions about you? Hey, just about to.
Well, I have
put you on the side.
one question about it, and it's more so everything's gone to the, I guess, the Secretary of State's office now.
Yes, sir.
And everything, any issues related to that, either from our end or from any of the other libraries in the state that you know of?
None whatsoever. I didn't hear anything back either from Liz as well.
Then thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so anything else to say on that? All those who have a second, all those in favor for the Board of Trustee ad hoc meeting? 5. Opposed?
Did it say that I stood up and had an outburst in the middle of the meeting?
Didn't say that we can't amend it.
Yeah, that's all right. I just was curious. I'm gonna behave today. Yeah, all right.
Our second tranche of minutes is for our regular meeting, which was last January 13th. I think it was warm that day too, wasn't it? It had been warm.
Yes. I moved that we approve those minutes.
Motion to approve is for second. Second. Any further discussion on those minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Those minutes are approved. And we have no yes,
Okay.
I have no report, so you're disappointed.
I know.
Okay, so we will move to our finest report of the evening is from Dustin.
Thank you. So the library was proud to participate in National Freedom Day, an observance on February 8th. It was supposed to be held on February 1st, but due to the weather, we were able to postpone it. Thank goodness, because I think that in my backyard, I got 6 inches, so that would have been not very fun considering it was a 2-hour outdoor event. It was to commemorate the freedom, what was it? President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. So that was observed at the courthouse steps. We got to have a lot of ongoing interactions, and myself and Adult Services Librarian Brendan LeClaire went with us. We got to have a lot of touch points and meetings with people. I'm thankful to report that the elevator was fixed.
Okay. In time for the sale.
Absolutely. So needless to say, not only were we excited, but I think Vandy jumped up and down whenever I told her a little bit.
That seems to be a theme with her.
We are all very old in the friends, and people were running up and down the steps, and I'm just worried about the liability. Crap.
Library Clue Tween Night was a huge success. Turns out that a person named Dustin did it. I don't know who that is. The teens that participated had to look for clues in the stacks, so they had to use the catalog to find the clues, and they had to use our stacks and essentially to investigate. So it was quite a fun project. The Ugly Duckling program also happened, and we had about 100 people attend. In fact, the performers that were there said that they actually said we were the largest attended program crowd that they had. For those of you that didn't know, it was a mix of storytelling and performance opera. And it was a lot of fun because some of the performers came in regular outfits and changed so quickly into a duck outfit or a dog, you have no idea. So, and that was kind of fun to explain to some people what the opera they were hearing was about, because huffing and puffing is not something that you hear sung, and it's a good thing. I would ask that everybody take a look at the display that we have right now on Vintage Valentines. It's a really cool idea, and it was put together by Debbie Stratemeyer. It's already provided quite a few different positive comments from the groups. And I had to share with you all this, the letter that was circulated from a child named Matthew. So I'm going to try and continue to give you guys some of these emotional stories that come up with the library. But we had an anonymous letter from Matthew. He did not give a last name, that requested that the library invest in more Greek mythological books, but did express his happiness that he loves librarians. And he would also like to know why the cafe is always closed whenever he comes. So we have an extended hour for the cafe right now because you might start hearing the Anderson String Quartet playing. And so hopefully he's going to show up today. And I'd really love to meet him because I have a letter waiting for him whenever he announces himself. So finally, you're going to see on March 1st a rollout of our rebranding of our bi-monthly specials for the cafe. You'll see it called the Bookmark Cafe Bundle. The first special will be the raspberry latte with a raspberry scone. It was the creation of our new cafe employee, Madison. So you'll have to let her know whenever you come into the cafe what you think of it. So it was, I believe she's still in her first 6 months. So for her to come up with a signature drink like that is kind of a really cool thing to have happen. With all that, that's my report.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and one other thing, I am happy to have Kathleen back in the building.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Okay, let's move next to the financial report from Anjanae.
All righty, because I just wanted to, before we go to the finances, I just wanted to give a little bit of a PR update. We've had a lot of huge changes within the PR department. The exciting part is that the Harper mascot, we have received 3 creative iterations of Harper, and we believe that this next version might be ready to share with you. It's a process. It's been we'll all chuckle about it once we have the real one. But we wanted to say thank you to the friends and to the board for the support in this endeavor. I also wanted to let you know that Sarah Smith, our PR coordinator, has stepped away from her position on January 28th. And in her letter of resignation, she did state that she loved her career here and all the people she worked with. She lives about an hour and a half drive away, one way. And it was getting too much. The good thing is we're excited to share that there was internal interest from our online service coordinator. So we would like to welcome Ms. Zoe Blue into the role of the PR coordinator. She brings 3 years of public relations experience into the team, and she knows, she has seen the development of this team as well as how each role interacts and touch points with the other roles so that we can build in stronger, more sustainable processes. So I'm excited about this next iteration. She is also working on her Master of Library Science and is expecting to graduate this fall 2026. Let's see, we are currently have the online services coordinator posted. So if you know someone, please encourage them to have a look. Then the other thing I just wanted to share with you, some fun things. The PR team would like to say thank you for the QR code suggestion regarding how the Bookie Monster operates. we have put that into our welcome campaign. So now every new library card holder will receive an email that has, how do you feed our bookie? You know, so thank you. We appreciate suggestions like that and to keep them coming. Wanted to share another little feather in our cap. Transparent Language has taken yet another one of our memes and added it to their official marketing kit.
That's really cool.
It is really cool. It is in your packet on page 9, and it's me after my first language and transparent language online, and it has Pit Bull as Mr. Worldwide. So I did have to have my son explain that to me. That's all right. So talk to your young people. It's really funny. Let's see. And then of course our TikTok is still going strong. Okay. Now let's get to the financials.
And then there's one quick question. Where is the PO coordinator position posted?
The PR coordinator position was internal position. So it is actually the online services coordinator position that is now posted.
Okay.
And all of our postings, once they go external, they are found on the employment, or it's either employment or careers button on the Blount County website.
And I have a question. Did I read or did I imagine that you're also putting a QR code at the drop off?
We're exploring ways to do that. What is it? We've taken on that suggestion as well. We have a meeting in Biblioteca in, I think it's next week. Don't hold me to that.
Okay.
But coming up on a Wednesday, I know that. And they're going to talk to us about what we have, the options we have with using the screen itself. If we can't use the screen itself, then we are going to look at other places to put a QR code. But we just, we don't want to clutter it up. Yeah, we're working on it. Thank you. That was the short answer. We're working on it. Okay, all right. So on to the financial report. What is it this month? You can see the narrative. We're pacing very well throughout the year. You might notice that some of our percentages look a little bit skewed on our operations side of things. And that is because our general liability insurance and our workers' compensation were both paid out in full this month. Or last month. And then, when the reports were run for this month, only half of our payroll had been processed. So, it just didn't show up. So it looks a little bit lower, but that still keeps us well and truly within all our percentages. We're tracking well. Any questions?
Okay, hearing none, thank you. Robert, you want to report on the foundation?
Yes, these are the things that are on our plate in the next couple of weeks and months. First of all, we'll be taking a look at our mission and purpose and determining whether or not those really meet the needs and priorities at this particular point in time. Secondly, we'll be setting our fundraising, donor engagement, advocacy, and program support priorities. Thirdly, we're going to be talking about what success looks like for our foundation this year.
Very good, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Robert Foundation? I have a new chairperson. Did everybody know that? Alexa Johns is taking over Travis came leadership. So I can't remember. So anyway, he stepped away and we have a new person for the foundation.
I think he's in leadership East Tennessee.
Yeah, it was a big,
It's a big deal.
commanded all of his time, so. Okay, let's see, Vandy,
Yes, it's got two things today. We do have book sale coming up and we have an elevator and we're pretty excited about it. On March 5th, 6th and 7th. The 5th is for members only. And if you are a member, I sure hope you all are. And if you're able to come, that is a real deal day because they deck out the basement and you walk in and it's amazing. The bargains you can get of barely used books for a couple of dollars. And then on Friday the 6th and on Saturday the 7th. The other thing that we always encourage, I know my AD would always work on this, is we need volunteers. And I think I've told you before, the easy volunteer job is to operate the elevator. Because we sort of, well, there's lots of reasons now to take good care of that elevator. But we make sure who goes up, who comes down, make sure everybody is checked in to come down. And it's a great way to chat with people and ask them, how did you hear about this? What do you think of the library? And that sort of thing. And it's the kind of thing that I think trustees might be interested in doing. And you can work an hour shift. So if you'd like more information about that, let me know. We also want to share with you, our board, our volunteers are grieving the passing of Lori Smalley, who was a longtime volunteer and board member. She's been battling cancer for about a year and a half.
I didn't know that.
She passed away 2 weeks ago. And so we're going to be working with library officials. We want to do something that would be appropriate to remember her here because she was, if you were in this library, you ran into Lori, you may not have known it, but she was here. So yeah, just wanted to share that. Kathleen, her obituary was in Sunday's paper.
Okay. I had not heard that. I mean, I've worked with her.
That's all I have.
Okay, is Liz with us today?
She is not yet, so she said she might be late if she is able to jump on, but so far she's not on there yet.
Include her stuff in the packet or?
Yes.
Okay, we will gloss over Liz and you can read her report, which is in the packet. Ocoee Regional Library thing. She can join us in progress if she chooses to. Okay, let's move to old business. We have the gift policy, which we kind of looked at last month. Ready to approve.
After the Ocoee.
Back to your code. Okay. This incorporates, I think, some new formatting a little bit.
I think it also includes, looks like it also includes the links to the website as well, which is, I think, a good thing also, so.
Well, Chair, I make a motion that this policy be approved.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
To second.
Second.
Any further discussion on the policy? And all those in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Those right sign. And policy is approved. That can be signed. Sharpie. Okay, the next is our budget proposal for the coming year of 2020, the rest of this year and 27. And I will let Dustin speak to that.
Yes, sir. And so just to give you a little bit of context in regards to this, I tried to adapt the budget to give a description of what I would like to pursue. Obviously, since this is my first year, this was a little bit of a learning curve. Again, many thanks to Anjanae for many thanks for most of the staff, just for kind of some of those little bits of assistance here and there with trying to just learn the process of things. So in January, I tried to present to you all an overview of how I'd like to proceed with the operating costs of the budget. And I was made aware also that salary and benefits are typically done with the finance group committee, the finance group in the county. And so when I presented this to you, it only included the operational portions of this. And so, again, thank you all very much for allowing us to be able to meet about a week earlier. I was given direction from the county at the end of January that they would give us some of the numbers and they would open the portal to where we would be able to input the operating costs that we would like to ask for into Munis, which is our county budget system. They did give us a deadline to have everything completed and put into the machine by February 17th, which would have been the date that we would have met. And so had you not been able to adjust the time frame for whenever we could meet, I would be presenting to you the final choice of the budget, and it would be about a half hour late because the county courthouse closes at 5. So with that being said, the couple of adjustments that I made with the original policy explanation was an adjustment to increase the costs into the line item for our office supplies. And that's because adult services is in need of some new office chairs for the staff.
Comment to that.
Yes.
They need those chairs. They need those chairs. They have needed them for some time. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. What I did to try and counterbalance that was offset the amount that we were requesting for capital funds. And that you will see as a reduction to offset the additional cost that I requested in the office supplies line item, which was $2,000. In addition, I also included expenditures by capital projects, and that was a new one that I had introduced to you all in an email a couple of weeks ago to give you guys a couple of weeks' notice to look at it before you made a vote on it. We developed the 4-year capital plan as a staff. This was in part some discussions that I had with all of the staff as far as maintenance needs. All of the staff that were involved in the strategic planning process back in October and November to outline future goals that we would like to pursue. And in addition to that, we have now hired in the county a new person that is a project manager. His name is Travis Brooks. He comes from a background of a construction company in Knoxville. I'm very pleased to say that he's also an architect. So he also can help with identifying some of those structural needs, may be able to help us in the future build out an architectural layout of the building if we wish to pursue some of these 3 and 4 year goals, potentially 10-year goals. The mindset that I'm bringing to all the capital projects is to, number one, try and invent something that we feel would be good use of the taxpayers' money. Number two, something that would be adaptable to future needs so that we could adjust it if we have to. And number three, something that would not interfere in 10 years with another long-term goal that we have potentially down the road. So all of these projects that you see here, I brought to the staff and said, what are some things that you would like to do with the library? Tell me what they are. And just remember that if you're asking for these things, don't come to me in 3 years and say, let's take down that wall after we just built that wall. So with that, the numbers that I presented to you all are estimates. They are very vague estimates and they are subject to adjustment based on the county and based on what the commission decides after the review with the budget committee. But they are numbers that the project manager, Travis, did sign off on to say they're reasonable, they're realistic. If you guys would like to look at the finance charts that were presented by Anjane earlier, we do have a large amount of capital funds still currently in the budget. The challenge has been just staffing wise, literally. We did not want to build something and say that we were going to do a capital project and then a couple of months later determine that we wanted to go a different direction with our strategic plan. That being said, also the finance department itself has also experienced a lot of changes. And because of that, they've had to pause on some of their capital projects, even if we requested them. So with all that being said, some of the low-hanging fruit that we would like to do that could potentially even occur this year Travis Brooks did say that the HVAC duct cleaning could potentially happen this year. We have the money. It may have potentially already been approved by this board 2 to 3 years ago. I remembered seeing in a capital plan and some documents before my time that this was agreed upon and went through city commission about fiscal year 23, 24, something like that, if that rings a bell. With that being said, the other items that were on this list, the estimates in the future years are for the essentially development of what we'd like to do with the spaces. And with that, I'd like to ask if there's any questions in regards to the plan, if you guys have any questions or concerns with the capital layout or the operating. And
Study rooms are really important because it will benefit the patrons and staff. That's also a superbly important item
agreed.
in my experience.
So to speak to that, probably the biggest complaint that we receive in the library is the noise. It's always been a concern, and I feel personally it's been a weakness on our part because we can't really reach out necessarily to the business community because we have study rooms available, but because of sprinklers and ducts, they don't have a ceiling, so they're not enclosed and the sound travels very easily. We'd like to potentially look with Travis Brooks at looking at the study rooms we have and as a stopgap measure, figuring out some way of sound mitigating. In the long-term plan, we would like to find a way to be able to have enclosed study rooms in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yay.
I just have a few questions.
Absolutely.
So on the operating, I was just curious because as I would look through your chart here, you show 0% delta between the current year and budget year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, typically, I know at the federal level and the state level, they use the OMB inflation indices. So you have anytime you have a program change, either price or program, and the price is based on inflation. You mentioned CPI, but that's neither here nor there. It's the inflation indices. Does the county not use that? Because it's laid in across the board because inflation happens. So they give you an inflation indices with which to build your next fiscal year's budget with. They don't do that here.
We did rise in certain categories due to the consumer price index, yes, due to inflation. Yeah, in certain funds, we did increase the.
What I'm saying is that the typically finance department should have just said, here's your inflation index for your budget, and you apply it across the board. They don't.
No, they don't.
We're not doing that.
That's good. That's fine. Interesting. Fine. The next thing on the capital budget is that typically your capital budget again is 2 to 4% of your plant replacement value. Do they not do that either at the county?
I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, that's just a standard operating procedure for capital. And then what year funding is the capital budget? Is it a 1-year appropriation, multi-year appropriation? Because again, typically capital funding is a 2 to 5 year appropriation where your operating expenses is a 1-year appropriation. And the reason I ask that, if you have a surplus, so can that roll over to the subsequent fiscal year available for use, or does it lapse and then you have to reapply?
Right now, Blount County is trying.
It rolls.
It is tied to the project.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about planning, like you don't have, if you're still planning.
No one, I know.
Yes, gotcha. All right, and then kudos to tying your capital budget to your strategic plan. It's very good that you do that. I just couldn't follow the lines on your page here. So like, for example, the carpeting, you're gonna phase it in. I think the total cost is $350 something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah,
350. So the total price is $350. Phasing it for 26, 27, you have $35,000. So is it $50,000? Is that with the carpet or in the out years, or what's your out year projected outlay?
So prior to my time, it was estimated that it would be around $350,000 to recarpet the entire library.
Right.
And so, based on the direction that we're currently looking at with strategic planning with staff and also with the ability of the courthouse to be able to do things at a slower pace. We're looking at the potential for piecemealing some of that carpeting so that we would
No,
start.
I understand that. We
Yeah.
face projects all the time. I
Right.
got that bit. I was just trying to follow your line. So that 50,000 you have, it's kind of floating there. Which line does that go where?
Right, yeah, I think I see what Richard's saying.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Zeros.
Mhm.
Does that
would
go
be
up
on
with the
line.
HVAC?
I think
No, I-
it's a formatting issue.
I apologize, that didn't print correctly,
Yeah.
yes, so 35,000 is for the carpeting. And that's an estimate based on the square footage of the meeting rooms.
Right.
And then the 50,000 would be an estimate based on future needs in carpeting based on
Okay, so that
the.
goes with the
admin
carpet, that's
area.
your out here. Okay, that's all I need to know, because I was like, what's your out here? If
No, I
you're paid,
appreciate that catch, thank you.
All right, no problem.
All that goes, all that should have been on this line.
Right. I got it.
But so HVAC, just kind of following along with Richard's question, it appears that the HVAC is not an annual, wouldn't be anything we'd have to do annually, just this one time, and then it's bid for X number of years until it has to.
20 years.
Yeah.
Correct, there's potential that it may have to be done within the next 4 or 5 years, but at this time at least, we wanted to at least get it done for now, and it looks as though 2 years ago it was estimated to cost around 50,000 or less at that time, so I'm hoping that it's gonna be less. But yeah, we'll see.
And then I think it was last, in my notes here, your revenue increase of $30,000 a year. Just curious, how'd you come up with that figure? Was that based on historical? You've exceeded your budgeted revenue generating for that amount year after year, or?
So we've been looking at numbers in the cafe, and what we'd like to do is ensure that the cafe revenue is increased to match expenditures a little better. And so we're doing a little bit of an increase in some of the cafe prices to be able to offset some of that. We would like to have it adjusted to be able to match the costs for some of those things going on. And right now, I believe that we are actually growing and exceeding revenue expectations currently. And so that's where that number kind of came in from. I've given Chelsea a goal essentially in the cafe to see if she can figure out and determine ways that we can increase revenue. We've done that by both offsetting costs by finding cheaper vendors, but also by adjusting prices as necessary.
Yeah, and that's really where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Have you looked at whether that increase is based on price or is it based on increase in consumption?
So the revenue line specifically is based on what we think that we could earn from revenues from purchases.
Right. But that purchase price, is that based on an increase in price or is it based on an increase in consumption?
Mainly consumption.
Mainly consumption.
See, that's a good thing. So that's, okay, very good.
Matthew's gonna come through.
I was gonna say that.
You know what, maybe he'll apply for the online services coordinator.
There we go.
You know.
$7 lattes.
Yeah.
Like Starbucks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I get this strawberry and banana.
If you hang a Starbucks sign up front, maybe they'll line her up around the building, you know.
Yeah.
No, this is very good. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the budget? And
Do you have a date yet when you have to present to the county?
Yes, so the county has given us, we don't know the specific date, but it will either be March 26th or March 27th.
And at the end of next month?
Yes.
Okay.
But all of this will have to be put into Munis by February 17th. So.
okay, good deal. Thanks, Dustin.
Do we need to vote on presenting this to Munis, or is this just kind of pro forma for us?
I believe it's, I don't know the answer to that.
So here's the thing, if you support it, it's good if you say that you do with a official vote. saying that because anything else that Justin or the director has taken to the commission has gone with your approval. So continuing, that would be a
So we should
Because
be wise to have a vote. So I move that we accept it.
Okay. We have a second.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Good call.
I don't have county commissioner.
I was gonna say, now they won't say that he's like a cowboy doing his own thing.
That's exactly
He's
right.
got support.
Liz is
Yes.
online. Okay, see.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say I agree. I've been here. Sorry, I've just been quietly listening. Yes, a vote is always good.
So just a real quick, so the budget is, proposal is approved and thus I will present that to the county commission and that's done. Now we'll backtrack and let Liz give her report.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. We had all the weather caused lots of different changes to meetings. So this is the only way I figured out how to be in multiple places at one time. um, So you all got a report, of course, and you have the Reads circulation statistics. Basically, we've just been hitting the ground running in this new year with lots of training opportunities for our librarians and staff, as well as Friends members. This month, we had an excellent session with Kathy Dooley Smith, who's the Friends of Tennessee Libraries president. She came and talked with our we had a very good turnout at our Friends of the Library presentation on February the 3rd last week. We also had a really good session, a virtual session that a sister region shared with us, Buffalo River Regional Library, hosted Nick Tansey, who is the digital librarian, talking about AI in libraries. And that was very well attended today as well. And then February 17th, we have a reschedule from a session that we had and had to be rescheduled due to weather. That will be our third session in the Connecting the Dots series with Kathy Dempsey, talking about data and how to use data and research for your libraries. We're reminding our libraries about LSTA Tech Grant spending. The deadline for that to submit your invoices is April the 30th. Also, it's no time like wintertime to think of summer reading. So Kate Greensmith, who is our youth special projects youth services coordinator at the State Library and Archives, is hosting Manual Mondays to talk about the collaborative summer library program, summer reading program manual, which is huge and is a vast resource. So she's hosting those to help our library staff go through those and look at different ideas for summer reading program. We are beginning this past Monday. We did have some updates to how we authenticate Tennessee residents using Tennessee Electronic Library. So we will no longer rely on geolocation authentication for access, but any person using a computer in the library will automatically be connected to Tennessee Electronic Library. And at-home users can access Tennessee Electronic Library with their library card. So, also, just reminding our trustees about looking at board lists, checking for upcoming vacancies. You all do a great job with that. You're already aware. And the trustee certification program is always available, of course. And then we also just wanted to note special this month, February 7th was National Take Your Child to the Library Day. So that is mainly what's happening in the region. We're glad we're all thawing out and seeing some sunshine.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Let's see, moving on to the new business, we have a genealogy collection, development, and weeding materials policy.
All right, thank you. So this is a first look, and this is the changes that we're proposing to make. And if you guys would like to take a look over it for the next month, there are quite a few changes. For starters, we did make the first beginning changes to make sure that we complied with formatting. So you'll see in red some of our definitions, who is it applicable to. Some of the other major portions of what we've changed in this was to make it, to make sure that it lined up more closely with the gift policy so that donations that were being given to the library, it was a little more clear on which policy you would use whenever you were giving something to the library, which is essentially the gift policy. Language was added to solidify the understanding that donated property cannot be gifted to another institution upon its removal. So there have been some requests in this past, which goes against the collection development policy and the county surplus rules. And so we wanted to make sure that that got a little more solidified inside the policy. It would also be a challenge to track. For instance, if we were gifted something and then we decided to remove it from the collection in 30 years, we wouldn't be able to necessarily be contractually obligated to, for instance, give it to Knoxville. We also tried to adjust it to where that items given with the requirements be determined by staff whenever it comes to naming the collection. Previously, the language in this was requested that it not be allowed that you call something for example, the John Doe collection, if you were to give that to the collection. In this now, we adjusted the language so that that was an option, but it was to be determined by staff and not to be determined by the person that was donating the items.
So that if we receive a large collection of genealogy items, and if we choose to say these were donated, this is the John Doe collection,
Mhm.
we would have that option. But we don't have to, if we don't want to. If someone donates one item, we can go on like we have always done.
Exactly. The previous language before said that if we wanted to include the Kathleen Christie collection, for example, we would not be allowed to name it that. But at the same time, this new language hopefully would be able to allow the staff to make that decision, but not allow the patron to make that request, because that would be typically very challenging for the collections manager.
I don't recall that ever being an issue in referencing genealogy, but okay.
Yeah. And then finally, the other big one that we changed was the language that required, and I'd love your perspective on this one as well. A lot of the material language in here stated that certain items that are owned by the library are required that they give permission and sign a form to be able to use the collection and acknowledge us in their book whenever they do a book.
If they publish it,
If they
anything,
publish
they have to acknowledge us.
That has to do with the collection that we already have of images, and I think that has to do with copyright.
It is
That's
specifically
illegal.
images.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used it specifically with the Garner
that's
photos.
exactly right.
And we have used that several times. People have published with various items, and they have always credited the library. There's never been an issue with that.
Yeah. The big reason that right now we've requested that it be reviewed and possibly removed was because of we still left in the form and adjusted the form to where they would sign a liability waiver acknowledging copyright. For instance, if they used some of our material to publish a book, they would sign a liability waiver, essentially saying that they would not hold us accountable, essentially, for material that we owned that they used in their book to publish.
We might not own copyright to it.
Correct.
We do own the copy.
If we do
we do
or
own
do
the
not,
copyright.
no, if we do or do not. So
Okay.
any material whatsoever, if they come and they wish to publish a book and use our collections, they would not be, they would be required to sign something saying that they acknowledge that they won't hold us accountable for copyright. However, we did say that we would like to request that they add our information to their book, not require that they add our information to the book. And so that is probably one of the big core substances of the changes as well in this.
So if someone publishes a book and uses one of our items as reference, we would ask them to credit us,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Is there a need for that? I mean, what if they're looking at 50 titles from 50 places?
Well, the previous language in the materials required them to credit us.
See, I don't remember that with being print, is it?
It was, if they wanted to use any of the Gardner
Yes, those are
images
photos.
where they were going to be making a profit, then they
Yes,
were
With
going
the
to,
photos, but not with the
and it's
print
because we were given the copyright to the Gardner. And because of that ownership, that's why we wanted it used within the legal, following of it, because we didn't want them to take these images and misapply them,
Right.
misuse
Are we talking
them.
about images or print items in the collection? We're talking about a
All
book
of
in the
it.
collection, that's what I'm trying to clarify.
What this would do is this umbrellas over everything.
Over everything.
Over
So even if
everything
they-
now. So, because the language previously where there had to be a specific acknowledgement, I think was geared mostly toward that
that
Garner collection, because when I was on the historic trust and we actually were the ones who donated, they had been given to us, but when we donated, that was one of the stipulations that Judge Dugan, as our board chair at the time, said, we got to make sure we cover all of our
Well,
bases.
we've done that since before my time here.
Right,
With the Garner photos.
right.
Yeah,
And so,
and that has to, I would strongly encourage that to stay.
right.
No.
And that's that's one of those things that most people, if they are going to, particularly with AI
Yes.
going on now, most people are going to make those acknowledgements, especially if they're going to do something that ultimately may be in a for-profit, create something for-profit, like if they write a book about, Blount County in the 1890s or whatever.
Right.
So it's when this will, the way that this language is put in, I think covers us pretty well.
And so this is just to ask anyone who publishes to credit the library using this terminology.
Correct,
Okay.
yes, it would ask them to credit but not require it, absolutely.
For
all materials.
So that means they could use the Gardner collection and not cite us.
And I would be unhappy about that personally. I don't, I think that that's a special, unique collection that we have.
Mhm.
And it's the only one in the nation, and it's unique to Blount County, and I don't see why we can't say you have to credit the library for any of our photo images. So that's my take on it.
One thing that does appear, though, is that it does appear that the library staff may have some oversight over who gets to use them.
Anyone who fills out the form.
So, yeah,
It's
actually,
we don't
We don't
any of our
judge,
collection.
yeah.
Okay,
so
Yeah, if you
I-
come in and
Right.
say, I'd like to
so
use this.
so just so I can be sure, if I wanted to come in and say I want to make prints of all 2,800 slides.
If you paid for it, you could do
If
it.
I paid for it, okay.
So there actually is some
That would take
oversight
so much
that.
time of the staff.
So there actually is some oversight that the library staff is allowed to do, and if we knowingly, for instance, if we're requested to do something that breaches copyright law, for instance, if we knowingly have someone that asks to make more than 5 copies of a specific photograph, that's one example, for instance, of breaching copyright. And so that's, there is language that's still in there that states that staff have the right to refuse a request if it's knowingly violating copyright law or some type of copyright infringement.
Well, and you raise a point which I was confused when I was reading this last night. Are we still going to continue the fee schedule, or do we, for the photos?
So the fee schedule is one of the primary reasons why
We need it updated.
why we were preferring to have the information that as a current, the language as it currently is removed. Because it personally felt odd to myself and the current adult services manager. It almost felt as though the language was stating that we're expecting and charging a fee for use of our pictures. And while we do charge the use of the pictures for the copy fees, if someone requests, for example, for us to scan and digitize something, we would charge them for a flash drive, we would charge them for the mail. But it felt odd for a library to profit off of the use of.
And that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. But what if I inherited that, so I wasn't party to the reasoning 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But what, when you have someone publishing a pamphlet or book, 30,000 copies and using that was, I thought, supposed to be why they were charging. That was related to that. Not, anyone can make one copy, and that's no big deal, but it was the publishing
Yeah.
that, and if you want, we could talk about this outside of the meeting, and I may not be understanding.
I was expecting more conversation with this, especially.
Okay.
No
All right.
problem.
All right.
And it may be, and I cannot, I cannot go back this far in the past in my mind. If in fact say the Garner collection was copyrighted at any point, which it may very well have been, then it doesn't really matter what language we put in here. If it has a copyright to it, it has to be acknowledged.
And I
think it does.
I think we own the
I think so. And if we
But I
got
don't
that,
know
I think
if there's
it's.
any verbiage that says we own it, but.
Well, it
I've
was
already
the
been told that we
policy.
own it. I mean,
It's probably out
we
there,
own the items, we own the electronic and the physical item.
But I don't.
So based on what you're saying, what we're trying to make this language state is that, for instance, if we have a book in our collection, whether it be special collections or not, if someone does not acknowledge that they used it in their publication, then the waiver is to ensure that we are not held liable for what they publish using our materials.
But if if there is a copyright that's associated with something that we have, I mean, if there's a book that we have that has a copyright on it and somebody doesn't acknowledge it, we're covered with the waiver. But if there's something that we have that has copyright protection to it, that it absolutely has to be acknowledged as part of that, because then not only because then I think we could potentially have a cause of action that against those folks for having profited over, without acknowledging our, it's a form of plagiarism, where they've sold 30,000 books at $10 a piece and using what's ours. So
Yes.
that may be something more for the attorney than myself, because we've now reached about the limit of what I remember from copyright law in law school.
Yeah.
So do we need further discussion on that at a later time? So.
Well, this is a first review, so,
review, okay.
yeah.
So why don't you put your, Kathleen, put your comments in writing that you think it ought to be and let them review that.
Okay, I'd actually like to, I'd be happy to talk with you to get what you're thinking
Certainly.
and,
Okay.
just and see what you are thinking and go from there, if that's okay.
And as always, with any policy, I'm more than happy to meet with any of you in between the two board meetings, one-on-one. I will say that I will be on vacation between February 18th and March 3rd. So I'll be available anytime in between there. I'll reach out.
All right, let's look at our next new business item. This is also for the review of the internet safety policy. There's some changes. With text.
So,
No, there it is.
and for this policy, really the only changes that were made to it were the formatting and inclusion. So.
So everyone can review that. It'll come back next month for approval and signature. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, I'm hurrying along. We've got something to do soon. We've got a couple of funding requests. One is the Friends of the Library funding request for a time capsule. Be opened on this date in the year. Well, it's 2050.
2051.
2051. I'm pretty certain I will not be here for that. I never know.
Feel pretty sure. You're still going to board.
Like Hotel California. You
Have a motorized, I'll have a Bluetooth wheelchair. Okay, let's see. So this is a idea that someone came up with. Dustin, I think, came up with.
No, this was Polly actually that came up with this
Okay.
idea.
Is that on this? So that one first. Okay. And this is a $1,000 budget request. Is that right?
Yes, so at this time, we estimate that it's going to be less than that, but we wanted to give us enough of a bleed over in case prices have changed. But what the library would like to do, Polly, our employee, had come up with the idea of a time capsule essentially for the library. What this would allow us to do is to hold programs of different various types to be able to fill the time capsule so that it would be opened in 25 years. I spoke with the staff about this as well. I had a very, very interesting idea that was brought to me from Greg McLean in a conversation with him. We would like to have this opened in 25 years and then have some kind of a celebration in 25 years and then reseal it for another 25 years. So it become a living time capsule, essentially, a living history piece in the library to eventually also celebrate America's 300th. And so what we'd like to do, we found a time capsule that is about approximately 2 feet long, 3.5 inches wide. We'd like to get a plaque to commemorate it. Both the plaque and the time capsule are available to be engraved. So we'd like to include language to fit that. And we would like to find someone that would be able to build us a stand, because as opposed to burying it, we'd like to showcase it somewhere in the library so that it's on display for people to get excited about in 25 years. And we've decided to put this at the same time as the History Fest, to make it part of the program for History Fest. So we'll be having the celebration, if you guys are open to this idea, June 20th.
I think it's cool.
I move that we approve this request.
I second it.
Second, any further discussion? Is anything else we need to talk about this? Stand.
If there, well, the stand was included in the price. If there is additional requests, I'll make sure to bring it to you in March.
So we have two motions. No further discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well, then we will have a time capsule.
When's that usually do the events, this month or March?
This February, yeah.
Remember the Bugs Bunny cartoon, they opened the time capsule, the singing frog jumped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make a fortune and went around to the singing frog, but the frog wouldn't sing except just to him. Oh, sorry, I okay, the next funding request is for the Senior Services Directory,
Yes. So for
which hits close to home.
So this was a request by another staff member, Melinda, who works with the Senior Services Committee. And every year, every 3 years, the Senior Services creates a directory. And so this is a 3-year commitment where we would be able to advertise our services inside this directory. It is extremely popular and very well loved and used inside the library and requested.
People all the time are coming and asking for copies of that.
Absolutely.
Very, very, very useful item.
It has been something that we have done in the past. In fact, the current directory does have some advertisements for us as we speak. What we'd request is $1,680, which is the cost that it would take to allow us to be able to receive 500 free copies of the directory. So in addition to getting the advertising on this for the next 3 years, we'd get 500 free copies.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well, so now we have Senior Services Director. That concludes our main business. We have the dates listed there at the bottom of the agenda of upcoming meetings. The board meeting is March the 17th, which should be St. Patrick's.
That is spring break.
Spring break.
Nothing I don't know.
Could we meet earlier?
See,
Do we want to meet earlier by any chance? Before the 10th?
I serve at the privilege of the board.
I'm available to either day, and I'm available the 10th.
I won't be available the 10th.
You know, the end is the 10th, doesn't it?
That's
The
a spring
10th,
break.
yeah, but before the 10th, that's not a.
I'm okay with mid spring break. I'm in town, but
Well, I won't be here, so I have to pass out.
Or out. But if you can't do the 10th.
24th?
you can do the 10th.
And the 24th is fine with me. Well, I take that back. I'm having surgery the day before, so the 24th.
Oh.
It's not good.
So we better leave it the 17th.
24th.
What?
I would just leave it the 17th.
I'll be moving it. Well, I don't, some people are gonna be gone the 7th. Who all will not be here on the 17th?
Just me.
I'm coming in the day before, so I'll be here.
It's Blount County.
What county's that on the 16th?
So that's their spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be in
The next
town.
day, this is the 17th, is when the meeting is. So
Yeah. Just saying.
if it's only Kathleen, I guess you could phone it in.
Say would be.
All right, we'll just stay with the 17th.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have. Anybody have anything else to
I move we adjourn.
adjourn? Is there a second?
There's a lot done.
Second, all those in favor,
Make it
say
better.
aye.
Get out.
Get out.
On your feet.